Hello, everyone. I'm Annabelle. I'm the founder and CEO of Clutch Glue. Making the Forbes 30 Under 30 list this year for retail and e-com, you wouldn't immediately assume my background is in construction. Before all of this, I worked full-time at JLL as a construction manager and did a full-time construction management degree at UNSW. But like any young girl with too much disposable income, I spent all my money on clothes and clubbing. So it actually only seems obvious that the way that I thought about Clutch came to me where all good ideas come from. A $10 gig at Chinese Laundry. A notoriously sweaty club, for anybody that's been there you will know, and the 30-odd pieces of fashion tape that I had used to tape myself into this awful jumpsuit stood no chance. And when I arrived at the club, I started to sweat and it all came off and I flashed everybody in the vicinity, including Dom. And in a moment of sheer embarrassment and frustration, I was like, wouldn't it be so much easier if I could just glue myself into my clothes? And then I went, that's actually a really good idea. So then, having never had an original experience in my life, I went home and I was like, surely somebody else has thought about this before. And I was pretty surprised to learn that actually there wasn't anything on the market that did what I wanted it to do, which was a sweat-resistant but water-soluble clothes adhesive that's seriously strong, won't seep through my clothes, hypoallergenic, vegan, palm oil-free, packaging's made of 100% recycled materials, it's 100% recyclable. So, like any delusional 19-year-old construction manager, I decided that we can get men to the moon, I can invent glue. So I ended up spending 4 years inventing and patenting Clutch. I did also move to Hong Kong for 2 years during COVID, just so I could afford to pay for this insane idea. Then on the 1st of December 2022, we launched Clutch. I sold 10 tubes, one of them being to my dad, who was on the opposite end of the dining table. And then I started uploading TikToks here and there, and then there was this one day, 3 months into launch, where I uploaded a TikTok of a spaghetti strap falling off my shoulder, and I clutched it back on to my shoulder. I went to bed, and the next morning I woke up to a broken phone because that had reached over 9 million people, 420,000 likes, and we had sold over $160,000 worth of stock, which was 5,000 units, which actually sold us out of our first order. So, thank you. It's not as glamorous as you might think, just wait. So I then called all of my friends on a weekend and I was like, you have to come here. So in my Bondi share house, I force-fed my friends pizza in exchange for their services to pack these orders for me. That wasn't sustainable. We now have a warehouse. So shortly after, though, we started to receive all these messages from people being like, my tube is damaged. And so it turns out that our original manufacturer had actually, their sealing machine was too hot and it had pierced a lot of the tubes, meaning that in transit they were being damaged. That meant that we had to issue mass refunds, I had to buy more stock, and I needed to set a 3PL up in the States because the Americans were mad that they had to pay for shipping. Now, the main response that we were getting from our audience was that they needed Clutch now. So I successfully guessed the buyer's email address and price line, and I somehow ended up on the shelf. Now, within a week of launch, we became their third bestseller, and to this day, we are still their third bestseller. Midway through 2024, I got a DM on LinkedIn from a producer for Shark Tank. And he said, hey, would you want to come on Shark Tank? And I said, no. And then he eventually wore me down, and then I said yes. The episode aired in November 2024 and has been coined the best Shark Tank pitch of all time. Thanks. That pitch itself has been viewed by over 350 million people across socials. There would be more views, but our Instagram actually got hacked during this and somebody was holding it for ransom. Insane. Tell me, you can ask me how I got it back later. Yet another successful guess of an email address actually clinched a much larger retailer, the largest pharmaceutical chain in the universe, being CVS Pharmacy in the USA. Would have been really fun, but then the disaster of all disasters struck. Our factory went into liquidation. We fast-tracked an order from a manufacturer that I had a warm relationship with for a rainy day, and then I got my entire family in a warehouse for 2 days to quality assure 30,000 tubes to ensure that we didn't have an exploding situation on our hands again. And around the time we were preparing for this infamous Shark Tank pitch, behind the scenes we were actually gearing up for a pre-seed cap raise, with StartMate becoming our very first VC to back us, and the first investor in the round, and a lifelong believer ever since. Oh. And in December 2024, we actually completed the world's largest pre-seed cap raise for an FMCG company ever, with Blackbird being our lead investor and StartMate being our first investor. Yay! As you would know by now, like all of these good moments are really, we get humbled really quickly. This wasn't without its dramas because there was a shark. I won't name any names, you can ask me this later. If I didn't accept their offer and not give them founders shares, the odds of my Shark Tank episode being aired would be next to none. I called his bluff. And so then on the 1st of January 2025, myself, along with my sister and Clutch CMO and co-owner Lucy, we decided to hire ourselves full-time and quit our day jobs. How good? So, statistically speaking, and I know there's a few people in this crowd that have DM'd me saying, if you don't walk out in this Clutch mascot, I'm going to walk out. I haven't seen anybody walk out, so I must be doing a pretty good job. Statistically speaking, majority of you would have seen one of our guerrilla marketing campaigns. This has all started when I had the idea to go out and clutch some people into their outfits at Taylor Swift back in 2024. It was a huge success, and it drove home the importance of being in front of our audience where they need us most. Then the idea of all ideas struck. Where does everybody go when they're having a wardrobe malfunction? The bathroom. Introducing the Clutch Glue vending machine, which is launching next week, and it's living... Thanks. I keep on looking up this way, and I'm just looking at myself. It's not great. That is living in the main concourse of the Moody Center to begin with, which is a humble 15,000-seat arena in Austin, Texas. If 7-Eleven won't range me, I'll just become my own 24/7 retailer instead. Now, there's bound to be a few people in this audience that don't believe that Clutch is right for them. And if you're one of those people, you must be a man. And 2, you can run, but you can't hide. And by run, I mean literally. Clutch has been a revolution on activewear to keep your bike shorts in place, to keep sleeves and compression socks in place, and also keep your heart rate monitors in place. So we started to show up to events like the Hoka Half, the Sydney Marathon, and the City to Surf with our mascot and bike in tow to clutch in our skeptics. The buy-in cost for all of those items that you see there on the previous screen was under $3,000, of which we gained tens of millions of views across socials, hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of sales, which boosted our customer confidence and lifelong support from our audience. Now, we've had plenty of ideas for new products, but none of them sung out to us as much as one that our audience kept asking for: a waterproof version of Clutch. Clutch Wet, launching in February 2026. Thanks. But that's not all. 5 new world-first products are dropping across 2026, and maybe, just maybe, a whole new brand. Oh, maybe. Since closing our pre-seed cap raise, here are a few key wins. Our revenue over the past 6 months has increased 266% versus our entire year last year. We've reached millions of people on social media. We've patented and trademarked Clutch in over 45 countries. We launched in 5 major retailers, including Boots in the UK. We developed and we're about to launch an affiliate program. And we've hired 6 employees across Australia and the US. There is plenty more to come, but in the meantime, bond with your clothes like never before. Thank you.